Welcome back to EASD TV. We've been talking a bit about the work of the EASD behind the scenes. There are many different aspects to its work, policy, education being some of the most important. So we thought that we'd talk to two members of the postgraduate education committee, Apostolos Tapas and Pratik Choudhary. Hello. So what do you do?
So, the Postgraduate Education Committee is involved in the provision of education. It's got a wide array of different interventions. So we've got, we used to have actually quite a significant number of live interventions, so live courses that were offered to EASD members all those years. But following the COVID-19 pandemic, EASD has introduced a series of courses offered through an e-learning environment. They've been extremely popular with EASD members, and I think they are very important because they help us reach out to people who are not able either to travel because of the COVID pandemic, or they would not be, it would not be easy for them to travel to a live course.
So the EASD was very lucky, Pratik, wasn't it, in that it had already got plans in place for e-learning before the pandemic hit. So actually it was ideally placed to then develop its offer, and it took off very substantially. Does the Postgraduate Education Committee decide what the topic should be? Is that the role of the PGC there?
I think the PGC has got a wider role in that sense. So, and Apostolos talked about the e-learning, but actually there's a portfolio of events. We've got some live teaching that we do face-to-face. We do the e-learning, and then there are specific courses to train young researchers from both clinical and non-clinical aspects. So the EASD Postgraduate Committee oversees all these activities. But yes, you're right. It has a significant role in working out what should happen through the e-learning portal. And there's lots of really interesting little snippets that come out of that. So we have a series of e-learning videos about papers that changed my life from really senior, established people who we all look up to. That's a fascinating series of events. It's a long and short, so short snippets of...
The long and the short of it, very good.
Yeah, so those sort of things, and they're designed just to bring people in, show them what's available on the e-learning platform. And you know, the series of people we've got doing those e-learning videos are the best, the people who've been at the cutting edge of research, and it's updated all the time, and it's entirely free for anyone, anywhere in the world, just to log on and access those e-learning modules.
So you've got the kind of informal learning, which is, you know, my favourite paper.
Yes.
And you've also got the type of e-learning that leads to CPD certification.
Correct. So we've managed to get that CPD approved now. It's on the, for example, in the UK, it's on the NHS England approved list of educational platforms, and the array of events and you know, I've done a lot of the technology ones on there. You've done.
We are now launching, I think, a Type 2 ADA is the consensus paper e-learning module. So it's very interesting because it's across a wide array of subjects, actually, isn't it?
And it's constantly evolving, so we're keeping on top. As soon as something new comes up, we've got little modules that go in and can be developed. And so, you know, one of the things through ESG Live is if people haven't accessed those e-learnings, then it's really great for you to get up to the date, not up to the moment knowledge about, you know, whether it's Ramadan, fasting in Ramadan, whether it's type 1 diabetes and technology, whether it's obesity management, whether it's the latest guidance.
So constantly evolving. Do you get any sort of membership up requests for modules?
No, Vivian, it's very interesting. What we've found out through all those years of EASD providing those postgraduate courses is that we get people who were initially involved there as trainees to establish their career and be later involved there as faculty. So I remember the first time I was involved as a trainee.
As a child?
Yeah, not as a child exactly, but as a trainee in the Robert Turner clinical course back in 2008 in Oxford. I was later involved as faculty member, and it's a course which has been offered, I guess it's almost 20 years now, and it's very interesting that you come across people who you've met initially as trainees and later you see them in established posts both in EASD but also all around Europe. So I think it's very important to support all those people in their career and in their development, in their personal development.
So it's a network, it's a family, it's it's learning when and whenever you want it. From whatever part of the globe you're in.
But without a tap on the shoulder, because people are just raising their hands, which I think is also very important. So we are very free to people raising their hand and becoming a member of PJEC, applying to become a member of PJEC, or getting involved in the courses.
So what I'm getting from you, this is a very good thing.
It's something really interesting to be involved in. It's about it's about trying to give stuff back, and it's trying to find, as I said, there's a range of things for the clinicians who are kind of doing a great job out there, might not be able to come to meetings like this. We have the e-learning which they can access and understand and get to interact in a sense virtually with the leading experts in the world. And then for those people, particularly on the research side, who need that research training, we've got specific postgraduate education activities just to nurture that next generation of experts. And as Apostolos says, those are the people who actually come through to the postgraduate committee.
And I think actually a kind of high point of your programme was the way that you responded to COVID, because within, it seemed like nanoseconds, you had a whole range of different videos from experts, which actually then had to change constantly because what we knew at the beginning was totally different to what we knew by the latter stages.
And before COVID, in addition to that, we were going out probably at least once a month to areas where, whether that's Eastern Europe, whether that's even further flung regions out into Asia and Africa, doing courses, meeting people, getting experts from the EASD out into other areas. And of course, through COVID, that's all been stopped. And now we're looking to restart some of those activities as well and kind of get that face-to-face event rate for people who can't attend this sort of kind of the mega conferences, but get those key aspects. And so, for example, we also link in with other national organizations. So I've obviously got an Indian background. So I run or coordinate EASD symposia in the major Indian diabetes meetings. We also collaborate with, we've had meetings in Mexico and in Brazil where we can take EASD experts out to those other places and run symposia there and just interact with local clinicians. That's an important part of the kind of EASD postgraduate committee.
So actually, you can find all those activities, and I think just to capture exactly what Pratik was saying, under the EASD website, under Enrich, which is we try to enrich local association meetings, empower or enthusiasm. So all those E-words, they come under the e-learning, together with the e-learning under the EASD on the website, and I think they are free accessible, which is very important, and we have to underline that. And I think it's also quite important to underline the fact that most of them are being now accredited by, for example, by the Royal College.
Physicians, CPD approved by Royal College of Physicians.
And I think we have to stress that this means that they also have an expiry date, that we have to keep them up to date, which I think is very important for practicing clinicians.
So thank you both very much. I hope that what you're hearing from this is that EASD, e-learning, is a thoroughly good thing. And actually, if I can be so bold, because I work often across other congresses, I think actually the EASD offer is really quite outstanding and really stands head and shoulders above many other learned societies. So go to it. And if you want to go, what particularly should you go to? What
just
part of the
Google
website?
EASD e-learning. That's the simplest thing to do.
Google EASD e-learning. What more could you want?
How simple could it be?
Yeah, how simple
find
could
us
it
on
be?
Twitter at EASD News, and then the information comes back to us.
So any social media platform, Twitter, whatever, go to it. That's all for now.